My name is Debbie Venier. I have a master's degree in reproductive physiology, and I own World Embryology Skills and Training, also known as WEST. My background is I've been an embryologist since 1994. I started at Nashville Fertility Center in Tennessee and have been a very enthusiastic and passionate embryologist ever since. Being able to have well-trained embryologists has been an issue, especially in the U.S. We have probably about 2,500 embryologists in the United States, and with 10% growth, and 40% of our industry is in the age group of retiring. So all of our senior embryologists that have been around for 20, 30 years are going to be leaving. So we need to have this succession plan. And in the years past, all embryologists were trained on the job, on the fly, and it's been difficult to get well trained with that mentality. So understanding the science behind what we do and not just be a robot and follow a protocol has been a problem. So West offers full training for brand new embryologists. So our goal was to recruit new embryologists right out of college or recently graduating biology or physiology majors that had a passion and an interest in embryology. So kind of take them under our wing and get them those technical skills and understanding the science behind female and male reproduction, understanding embryonic development, sterile technique, embryo culture, and then moving through all the IVF tasks. So when they graduate from West, they're completely technically trained. They have full scientific understanding behind all of the procedures we do. And then they have a clinical transition once they get hired into the clinic. And that clinical transition will vary from embryologist to embryologist and lab to lab. But that transition allows them to become fully trained at a much faster rate than the embryologists that just get hired into the lab and train in the lab on the fly. Okay. So I have myself that's here full time as well as another co-trainer. So there's two of us here full time. We're here every day with all the trainees hands on in the lab with them. We have all different types of microscopes here. So we have all the different type of micromanipulators, whether it be an RI, Integra, Eppendorf, or Nirishigi. We have 10 different manipulator systems here, all with different types of microscopes, whether it be Olympus, Nikon, and they're trained on all of those. The stereo zoom scopes, we have 15. We have some built into hoods, some standalone, some in an isolette, and all the embryologists learn how to use all of those. Our program is very specific to making sure that each embryologist is able to train at their own pace, so they don't have to feel rushed. Everyone has a key to the laboratory here for all 11 weeks. They can come in early, they can stay late, they can come in on weekends, so they can put in as many extra hours as they want to make sure they felt like they've had enough time to practice. So we definitely stress that it's not important that everybody is racing to the finish. It's you can take your time. That's one of my passions, is that you're versatile and adaptable. And when you go into any lab, regardless of which lab you go into, you're able to use any microscope in the lab. You're able to use any incubator, any pipette. So anyone that comes through training here has to train on everything. So they have to know all the different techniques, any type of dish, any type of media, any type of biopsy skill, any type of ICSI skill. Vitrification, they learn all the devices. So they have to be able to vitrify on 9 different devices and all the different protocols that go with those devices. So they're very familiar and versatile. So experienced embryologists they can either come in for 1 week ICSI courses, 1 week biopsy courses, or they can come in for vitrification training. They can come in for refresher courses. We've had lab director meetings here where they've come in and done like leadership conferences. They definitely come in for just remedial, like retraining. Like, I've been doing biopsy for 10 years, but I want to see what these new techniques are. So they can come in and learn other techniques, other ways that people might be doing something that might be more efficient, more productive, yield better results than the way they were trained 10 or 15 years ago, because it's ever evolving. So lots of people can come and learn new things, even if you've been an embryologist for 10 or 15 years. So achievements, being able to gather all the equipment, and I'd say it was a challenge as well. So it obviously was a huge investment to invest in all of the equipment and all of the supplies. But thankfully, I had amazing support from the industry. All of the industry partners were very supportive and encouraging of needing that embryology training. I am at the end of my career and I'm passing the torch on to these new embryologists that are just entering the field, and seeing that passion develop in them and that excitement of that first egg retrieval or that first embryo transfer positive beta HCG is like, oh, they're having those feelings that I had 30 years ago. And I still feel just as happy for them as I did when I felt that way for myself. So the next milestones for West is probably to get additional trainers in, to be able to have, I think the more hands-on, one-on-one interaction trainees have with the trainers is the best. I also am really excited about starting a train the trainer program. So bringing in senior embryologists from other laboratories and training them to train, because not all embryologists, you can be the most amazing embryologist in the world. It does not mean that you're able to train, and it doesn't mean that you're a good trainer. Those type of people have a special skill to be patient, be very detailed, and very explain every little thing you're doing, and still be encouraging and supportive to that trainee. And it's a fine balance to be critical of them and force them to be the best that they can be, but not put them down and make them not want to do it or not feel good about themselves. So training people to be trainers, I think is the next big step.